As mentioned earlier, even though we plan to focus on those major initiatives of fitness and academics, nutrition and sportsmanship, this first year most of our efforts would be geared toward improving reading skills. However, we want to walk you through some of the different aspects of the program, and I'd like to ask Dr. Alan Knehans, who many of you know, is a David Ross Boyd Professor and Chairman at the OU Health Sciences Center, and he's going to discuss the nutritional aspects of the program. Dr. Knehans.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank Athletic Director Castiglione for providing the leadership necessary to really get this program underway. He asked us in the Department of Nutritional Sciences, we're at the Health Sciences Center, as well as the K-20 Center, which is here on the Norman campus in the College of Education, to partner with the athletic department so that whatever programs are put together, so for example, we'll be asking the children if they will pledge to eat right. Well, what does that mean? And so our department is going to take responsibility for that and make sure that the programs that we're developing are meeting the goals that we would like to set. I think there are two primary goals that we'll have. One is to encourage children to have a healthy weight, which we all know is important across the nation, but certainly in this state. I'm happy to say that Oklahoma is not #1 in obesity rates in this state, but we are #7. And so we've got a long way to go in terms of improving our health in that regard. And eating healthy is going to be a primary feature then of trying to improve weight and overall health. In terms of healthy eating, we're going to encourage fruits, vegetables, whole grains, low-fat dairy. Those are the initiatives set forth by the Dietary Guidelines for Americans. This fits in perfectly well with Michelle Obama's Let's Move program to improve the health of children in this country. And so those are the primary dietary goals that we'll set forth as part of the nutrition program. The reading program, there's no question that literacy is important to children to achieve academic success. And so we're going to be developing a reading challenge. Since academics and good health fit together so well, clearly we're going to have some of the reading, encourage the children to read some books that have a healthy eating message and just a health message generally. And so I see the academic mission and the nutrition goals as really overlapping as part of the program. And I'm really excited that we've been asked to partner with the athletic department in this regard. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to ask Dominic Carolla, who is the president and creative director at Premise Entertainment, to come forward. Just to tell you a little bit about Dominic. I mentioned earlier that we sought the expertise of so many across these various areas so we could make this dynamic program possible. Dominic spent more than a decade working for Walt Disney Feature Animation in Orlando, Florida. While he was there, he was the lead animator for Lilo and Stitch, animated on such films as Brother Bear and Mulan. His other animation film credits include John Henry, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Pocahontas, and The Lion King. Not too shabby. Bought a lot of those videos over the years. Mr. Carolla was the director of animation for Walt Disney's California Adventure Animation Pavilion. And to put it mildly, we're ecstatic to bring a person with your expertise and immense credibility along with Premise to this project. You all have played an important role, and we're so glad to be partnered with you in this effort. I'd like to ask you to come forward and make a few remarks.
Thank you. Well, I'm just as excited to be here. When Charlie first reached out to us, whoops, I don't want to give too much away just yet. Typically, we don't really advertise. We work with the same people for many, many years, and when he had mentioned this, saying he wants to bring these characters to life, and we were like, well, we have a little experience in that. And we were looking for, well, first we have to start at the design phase. And like I said, it started at least 1.5 years ago, and we launched into basically who are these characters and what could they be like. So, you know, we obviously got, you have your current mascots, but in animation, you want it to really be alive so the kids can relate to it and they become real. So we went through early development and rough design stages, and as we continued to kind of go through that, the characters began to evolve. And we know you have a lot of great sports here, and we were able to get in as much as we could right now, but obviously it's much bigger than what we can do in the initial phase. So we kept on honing in, and then we found designs that folks were working with, and then we moved into kind of the color development of it. And all this is a precursor to really getting them ready for animation. In animation, it takes a while to get this stuff done. Everything's done 1 frame at a time, 24 drawings a second, so you really want to do your planning as much as possible. And that's what we were doing here, basically working things out and trying to see how would these characters now move. You know, drawing a horse is probably one of the hardest things you can do. Thankfully, he's anthropomorphic, so that helps us out a little bit. But for the most part, you know, we really want to kind of move him around before we even started animating. And what could some of those poses look like? You know, how do we keep them appealing? You know, and that's kind of what we started to do. And then when Charlie said, well, we've got this song, and we want to put some animation in there. So we heard the song, we thought it was great, and we actually storyboarded the whole 3 minutes, including live action, to try and give it some sort of visual narrative about this, you know, this family going out and the kid coming out to the game. So the storyboards basically, and you saw a few of them in there, this happens before animation. It's like a comic strip where you can essentially see the action before we animate the action. And we had to make sure that we hit, you know, all the key elements. You'll see scenes later on, not today, where we're hitting the 4 main things: academics, nutrition, sportsmanship, fitness. We're going to be hitting all those areas within the video with some animation bits. And within animation, before you get drawing, you take the storyboards, and we have to kind of plan out, well, it's a real place, so let's do our layouts, where essentially we're doing the set decorations, and we're designing, well, where's this animation going to take place? And we're trying to make it as dynamic as we can, because you have this incredible facility here, and it's just amazing history. So we really want to respect all that and plus it as much as we can with our area of expertise. So then our art director gets involved, and basically Ryan's a tremendous painter, and he's coming in, and now we're starting to bring all the pieces together. And as you can see, some of these are color keys, some of these are actual backgrounds, and we're in production right now. So as I stand here, there's an incredible team working really hard back in Orlando of veteran animation artists, and we'll probably be uploading some new scenes this week. And for the animators, they need to know, well, how do we draw these characters? You know, you're giving us horses. These are really tricky. So we have to go in and literally, it's almost a step-by-step of how to bring Boomer and Sooner to life. You know, how are you going to handle their hooves when they turn? You know, it has to kind of be like a guy in a suit, but not really. You know, so a bunch of things like that. So these are model sheets that everybody would get. And here's some early test animation that's going on. You can see it's starting to come to life already. This was an early color scene that Tony worked till 1:30 in the morning to get done before I got on the plane. So the folks are hard at work in all those areas right now to get it going. So we are cranking along, and we really are thrilled to be a part of this. Like I said, when you're part of something that has such a positive message, it kind of makes it extra special. And for us, what we do, we don't really think of it as work. It's what we love to do. So when you have something that kind of comes together like that, it just, you know, I've got a couple of young boys, and I'm just really glad to be a part of it. And I'm glad to be here with you all. So thank you very much.